Okay, hi, we are live. This is Erin Morgan. I am the editor-in-chief of Eye Care Business Magazine, and I am excited to be here today with my good friend, Terrence Lackren, who is the Director of Partnerships and Programming at the Vision Council. And welcome, Terrence. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Erin, thanks for having me. It's great being here.
It is great to see you, and I'm loving your eyewear. You always look great and very
Thank you.
stylish with the eyewear.
Thank you. Shout out
So,
to Anna Corinne Carlson for the eyewear and Frame Chain for the
ooh.
chain.
Oh,
Well,
ooh, look at
appreciate it.
that chain. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
so
gorgeous.
there you go.
Oh, how cool. I love it.
Thank
Yes, we all
you.
need a frame chain these days for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. They double as mask chains now, which is so
Oh my
awesome.
gosh. I
You
know.
know,
I've been seeing that, right? Because you need it, because
absolutely.
it's like always you need it always to be there.
Exactly.
Well, thank you all for joining us today, and we really appreciate you coming here. We're going to kind of run through a briefing on Terrence is going to give us some background on the very exciting upcoming Vision Council Executive Summit, which we all have always loved to attend in person, and this year will be virtual. So, Terrence, we'll head into our questions in a minute, and I'm going to also give a shout out to our audience here. But can you just kind of briefly tell us when is the summit, and what kind of what are the dates and the times that it's going to run?
Absolutely. So the summit this year will begin on January 26th, which is a Tuesday, and it will end on the 28th, which is a Thursday as well. So we're taking in mind also, the different time zones. We're not live, so it's going to be virtual. So we have to keep in mind the West Coast and Central and even Europe. So we're starting the summit in the late morning each day at 11:30 on the 27th and 28th, and on the 26th, which is more of a happy hour event, which we'll get to a little later. That starts later in the day at 4:30 p.m. So you want to wake up early, unless you're on the West Coast.
That's for sure, right? That'll be an early happy hour. That's some day drinking for those West Coast
Exactly.
people.
Well, they're used to it.
Exactly. Everybody's used to it. Yes,
Exactly.
it's crazy. Okay, well,
Definitely.
thanks for that info. So it is going to run, the sessions and everything will be live. So there's kind of attendees are attending live and they can ask questions and, kind of have things done in real time.
Absolutely, Ari, and that was so important for us. We didn't want we have a few, very few sessions that are pre-recorded. I mean, very few, could count on like one hand how many they are. But everything else will be live, which we want the
Great.
attendees to be interacting. We want questions. We want the banter. We want to feel like we are, as an industry, we are together the way we are at every executive summit. So that was a very important part.
Fantastic. I know, because we miss everybody.
I know.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. It won't be quite the same, but it'll be really, really good. It'll be really, really good.
I know. I'm gonna miss those early morning breakfast runs and watching you coming back from yoga.
I'm gonna miss the yoga.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss the yoga in the dark in the morning, but
That's
yeah,
right.
we'll have to get up and do it before we start myself.
There you go.
Maybe Bill Gerber will set something up.
Oh, okay. All right, Bill. We put you out there. Go ahead.
Exactly. So, folks, I'm going to go ahead and post the URL for the Executive Summit in the comments bar here. So we would like to feel free to pop on there and take a look while we go through the questions with Terrence and we learn a little bit more about the program for the summit. And also, we would love to know where you folks are that you're watching. I see some of you out there, so thank you so much for joining us. Please feel free to type into the comment bar in YouTube or in Facebook and just tell us where you are, what your name is, what your practice name is, and or where you're located. We'd love to hear from you folks. So feel free to shout out, and we'll kind of keep moving on here. So I'm just posting there we go, just posted onto YouTube and to Eye Care Business's Facebook page. So we've got that URL up there for you guys. So again, feel free to hop in there and tell us who you are and where you're from. And we're going to head into our discussion questions with Terrence. So Terrence, I'm super excited to attend the Executive Summit. Really looking forward to that connection and all the great information that comes out. and kind of just like your ideation and brainstorming, from these sessions is really invaluable. We know it's being presented in a whole new virtual way. Kind of what are you most excited about with this year's unique executive summit? I know you've been really involved, in the planning and kind of deeply, involved in it, and it looks like a fantastic lineup.
Yeah, I'm excited every year about the executive summit every year, but this year, I don't know, it's because we've been so locked up with by ourselves, we haven't seen each other. But I'm really excited about the program, the speakers, and just being able to see everyone. So the most excited part that I'm looking forward to is our theme. So our theme is, get this, Aaron, you're gonna love it. It is an optimistic view of the future.
We need that.
I know it's corny with the whole play on opti, but we need some optimism. Our industry, we give this world sight, we give this world fashion. We are responsible for here to here right now on Zoom. So
ain't that the truth? Forget your Zoom shirt. You need your Zoom eyewear.
Exactly. So
I'm gonna get mine out.
There you go. So I'm looking forward to just that theme being weaved through the entire summit. Right now, of course, we're not ignoring that 2020 was a extremely challenging year for the industry, and we are not downplaying that. However, we are going to highlight the amazing things to be optimistic about for the future. I mean, you and I were just talking behind the scenes about just people we know in the industry that have done an amazing job of, setting up new revenue streams and creative ways of their business and being able to take on a new way of doing business. So we are highlighting all of that, and we're going to show that 2021, ironically, not 2020, is going to be the year.
The year of vision, right?
Exactly, absolutely. And hey, Jane, shout out to you, Jane. I see you in there. Good to have you here.
I love Jane. Hi, Jane. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So I would say that's what I'm most excited about is seeing how that theme just permeates everything we do and we say and that we present at the summit.
That's fantastic. Well, we sure need the optimism, and we appreciate that. And I think it's a great focus for everything. And your programming really ties that all in together. So can you tell us, tell our viewers here just a little bit about how the actual platform is going to work? Like, are we all on Zoom? How are we going to be watching? How, and how are the sessions how are you going to move from one session to the next?
Yeah, this is, since everything has gone virtual, there are hundreds of virtual platforms now. Everyone has a virtual platform to choose from. So we literally went through so many demos, so many meetings with vendors to look for the right platform. And of course, the last vendor we met with,
was the right one.
We met with, it was the right one. It's a company called Social 27, and that was the aspect that we felt was missing from everything else that we didn't see other platforms, was the social part. As you know, Aaron, you attend the summit every single year. Networking is a crucial part of the summit. Huge. Meetings are happening on every corner of that hotel lobby. Every restaurant table, every outdoor picnic spot that we have at our hotels. So what I loved about this software, and honestly, it was the decision maker for us, is that even though we can't mimic that one-on-one networking in person, it allows for that type of feel still. So let's say, for example, I get in the meeting and I see Aaron Morgan's in there. I can send a note to Aaron like, hey, Aaron, you want to just have a conversation? And you can accept that, and we can go into our own private room with our cameras on the way we're looking at each other right now.
How cool.
We can still have that meeting. Now, if it's private, we can lock it. We can lock that meeting and we can have our own private conversation. But let's say we're like, you know what? Let's see who else pops in here. And I'm looking around like, oh, Terrence and Aaron are in a meeting. I would love to hop in that meeting and just say hello. I can pop into that room as well.
Door, right?
Well, it's more like a burst the door down.
That could get interesting.
It can. So it allows for that networking aspect, so it allows up to 6 people to join a networking room.
That
Or if you're having
is
a formal meeting, 19 people can join that networking room.
wow. So can you do that off of the sessions, or like, is it more kind of off of the happy hour kind of thing, or just any time during the day?
Anytime you want. That's the beauty about it. You could set up a meeting with someone anytime you want. And you can also send them a meeting, an appointment. So let's say you're like, how about tomorrow at 2:30? Let's get together. You can just send them, hey, this invitation is for tomorrow at 2:30, and they'll automatically be put into that room as well.
That's
So
exciting.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I think that is a key part of the summit. We will have networking. You will see each other. You can set up your meetings. You can have drinks with each other. You can have coffee with each other, and still be in the meeting, which is awesome.
I love it. Wow. Well, I'm excited to do that now for sure. I'm going to plan to burst into a few meetings.
We should just be the meeting crashers, Erin. You and I could go around, and crash all the meetings. If they have not learned to use the lock the door feature, they will after you and I are bursting into meetings.
Exactly. We can do some pop-ins, some good pop-ins, Terrence.
Exactly. Absolutely. Definitely. That would be fun.
I love it. That is really cool. Awesome.
So if you guys want,
cool. So, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So if you guys want to see how many meetings me and Erin get thrown out of, please come on to the executive summit.
Exactly. We might have to keep a tally.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I see we also have Valerie Jerome here from Newbury, England, which is very cool, Valerie. Joining us today.
Hey, Valerie.
And Zvi Pardis, sorry, Zvi, if I didn't say your last name correctly, but I know Zvi very well from LKC Technologies in Maryland. So thanks for joining us, Zvi. I imagine Zvi's probably attending the summit too, as well as maybe some of these other folks also. So exciting to have you here. Thanks, you guys, for joining in.
Absolutely.
Terrence, can you tell us a little bit about the speaker lineup for the summit? Can you tell us a little bit about the keynote speakers? I mean, that's like some of always the highlights, has been the highlight of the of the in-person executive summit. I imagine that's going to be the highlight of the virtual executive summit.
Absolutely. I am so excited about our keynote speakers this year. Our first keynote, which is going to be Wednesday, is going to be, Priya Parker, best-selling author. Her book, The Art of Gathering, her podcast, her TED Talk has over, 1 million views on YouTube. Her whole thing is about, how can we enhance our gatherings, our social gatherings, our company gatherings, our one-on-one meetings and group meetings. And she's just an amazing expert. She has a great way of just dropping these gems on us at all times. And if that wasn't enough, this year we decided that the keynote has to be a little more interactive because it's virtual. So Reed Foz, CEO of National Vision, he will be moderating that discussion with Priya. So if you think Priya was all that, at Reed it's just when it comes to this discussion as well. So I'm really looking forward to Priya Parker being our day one keynote. We have 3 keynotes, by the way, this year. 3 different.
Oh wow! So each day has a keynote.
So day 2 has a keynote, and then day 3 has 2 keynotes.
Wow!
It does. So the day 3 keynote is someone who I'm just enamored with. I've been admiring from afar since quarantine started, since June. And that's Emmanuel Acho. Emmanuel Acho is the Fox Sports analyst. He's a former NFL player for a number of different teams, but he's actually been more noted for his web series that he started in June called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. And honestly, it was a way to, we have these thoughts about diversity, about race relations, about lack of representation. And a lot of us may be thinking stuff, but we're too scared to bring it up, so we just kind of hold it in. So Emmanuel's doing an amazing job of navigating conversations when it comes to race relations and diversity. So we said, you know what? Let's have an uncomfortable conversation with Emmanuel. So thankfully, we've had three amazing leaders in our industry who volunteer to take part in this. So Rick Gadd, president of Essilor of America, Thomas Twinnen, president of Johnson and Johnson Vision Care, and Gary Black, president of Black Optical. They are going to be
Amazing.
having these conversations with Emmanuel, which is great because it relates right down to our industry and how we
Absolutely.
can improve DE&I there. So that's our second keynote. And then our third keynote is friend of the summit. Who else but Brian Bolio?
Oh, we love Brian.
We love Brian. Brian's
It
like,
wouldn't be a summit without Brian.
it would not. And honestly, Aaron, after the year we had, I want to see Brian more than ever this year.
Absolutely. So Brian, as I'm not sure if our viewers would know, but he is an economist. He is the CEO of ITR. Is it?
Correct.
Is it? Yes, ITR Economics, and he also writes every year for us for iCare Business. On our last issue of the year, he does kind of an economic outlook for the upcoming year. So that is in our December issue, which is actually still up online until today is the last day that'll be up. It'll still be in our archives. But he just is so insightful. He used to be a U.S. economist for the government, and he has been with ITR for many, many years now, but always gives a very kind of, excellent presentation on the economy at the summit, but also kind of laced with a little bit of humor too, which God knows we all need. So especially now.
Absolutely.
So it's a
Absolutely.
wonderful session to attend.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, he's hardly ever wrong. Uh,
You're right.
it's like his predictions are like spot on. So we're all looking forward to that this year. So those are our three keynotes.
Definitely. Wow, that's a powerful lineup. I'm really looking
Absolutely.
forward to all of those. That's super exciting. And thanks for sharing that with us,
Definitely.
Terrence. So there's all these breakout sessions on tap as well that are kind of after the keynotes, or Brian's, I know, is kind of wraps up the summit, right? So he's kind of bookending there on the last day. But I'm excited, and I'll just kind of give a little plug for the session that I'm moderating on. Kind of the session that I'm doing is for marketing executives, and it's focused on critical and innovative strategies for marketing professionals today, kind of how to market in this new world. And we're super excited to have we have two incredible panelists that will be moderating this session with Jonah Berger, who actually was he's Dr. Jonah Berger. He was a keynote speaker at the Executive Summit. I believe it was in 2016. He has written several books that are New York Times bestsellers, international bestsellers. One is called Contagious, and one is called Invisible Influence, and one is called The Catalyst. And his focus is kind of on how do things catch on, how to, from a marketing perspective. And he's really a world-renowned expert on change and word of mouth and influence and consumer behavior. So he's going to have some really fantastic insights for the audience. And then we also have on our panel Chase Fisher, who's the founder and CEO of Blenders Eyewear, which is just exploding. I mean, they're an incredible company now, working with Safilo, and we're very grateful to all of those folks for kind of organizing Chase to be on our panel as well. So sorry, just kind of giving a little plug for my panel discussion there.
You got a really
One of the
cool
breakouts.
panel. You got a cool panel, Aaron. You got a really. I mean, listen, you got Jonah Berger, who is I wasn't there in 2016, unfortunately, but everyone was raving about his keynote. And then you got Chase. I mean, Chase is like, he has like cool dust coming off of him.
Totally, doesn't he? I love his photo for the panel. He's on his surfboard.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I would definitely get that one.
Very smart guy. Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. So thank you for that good info and the good plug there. So join us at the marketing breakout session. But can you tell us, Terrence, a little bit about these breakout sessions? How will they work? Because I know a couple of them are running concurrently after so like the keynote speaker will speak, and then is there a little bit of a break, and then you'll move into the breakout panels?
Yeah, so what we decided to do, to do a 15-minute break between the sessions. And that's for a number of reasons. It allows us to get set up for the next sessions, the breakout sessions. And also, we do realize that people are working. So, if you need to go answer that email, if you need to take a break, sitting down, straight for 4 hours can be a lot. So there is a 15-minute break between coming from the general sessions to the breakout sessions. And we decided to do 3 breakout sessions per day, one geared towards senior leadership, one geared towards marketing executives, and one as an update to telehealth each day. And the great part about it is if you decide to go to one day, you can go to the second one the next day. However,
perfect.
I suggest, of course, going to Erin's marketing session.
It's gonna be good.
Definitely. So you'll have an opportunity. We have some amazing speakers on all of our sessions. Senior leadership, we'll be talking to David Gilboa, co-CEO of Warby Parker. We'll be talking to ones like Fabrizio Gazzoni from Luxottica. We have a number of people. Chase Fisher is going to be just. There's these people in our industry who a lot of us don't know, but we just can't wait to get into their heads. So I love the fact that we have like David Gilboa from Warby Parker. We have Chase Fisher from Blenders. So I'm like, I've been seeing you. I want to know what's going on. So this gives you the opportunity to get to see them, and they're interactive. I think, Erin, it's 30 minutes of panel and 15 minutes of Q&A.
Of Q&A, which is great because then the audience is really going to have a chance to get to dig in and ask those questions like they do at the summit usually. So that's a really great format. I'm glad you guys set it up that way.
Absolutely. And then Brian Rogoff from Zeiss, who's also a member of the ATA, American Telehealth Association. He's going to give an update on telehealth specifically for our industry.
That is exciting. So this kind of begs the question for me, will any of these sessions be recorded? Because what if I want to attend, what if I'm doing the marketing panel, but I want to check out another panel, later on? Is there an option to do that?
It's a good question, Erin. So we're going through with our platform right now and seeing, what's the best way to be able to do this. Of course, there's a number of questions there, especially when you're dealing with keynotes and they're
sure. Right. Well, those are different story. Yeah.
Right. The people we have, these people have people as well. So
people have people and their people have people. So
exactly. So we're working on something, and so we're just not sure how we're going to handle that. But
that makes perfect sense. Right. Yes, that sounds great. So absolutely. Thank you for that info, and very excited about the breakout sessions. So, and I know we did talk about, my next question was about kind of Brian and looking forward to his session. We always love that. And it's such a great way to kind of cap off the whole summit and send you off, with some really great intel to go forward to. So what would you say are some of the other, kind of, I know we talked about the keynotes and some of the breakouts, but if you were going to say, like, what are some of the not to be missed sessions that'll be held, even the happy hour? I mean, I think when knowing now that you can network and break out into separate rooms, like you would if you went to happy hour in the hotel and you were like, okay, let's go over here and sit down and have a drink together. Kind of what are some of the other not to be missed sessions that you would recommend?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what I wouldn't miss, but I'll give you
exactly.
But I'll give you the ones that that I'm very excited about. We were beginning the summit, of course, with our business meeting, which we do every year. But then we go right into a state of the industry. And Erin,
that's great.
It's huge. Every year, it's usually one of our researchers, Steve Cody, presents some data, some facts about what's happening in the industry. But we decided that since this year's been so unique, let's hear from people in each segment of the industry. So we've broken down each state of the industry into a symposium, and they're fast moving. I mean, they are like 5 minutes, and then you're on to the next person. So it's like, supply chain and frame manufacturing, labs, lenses, lens processing, sunglasses and readers, retail, and there'll be a different speaker that's in that segment coming on to present what they've been experiencing in their businesses, what this segment has been experiencing. So it's like, okay, Steve is going to deliver still the facts, but let's bring these facts to life a little bit with these experiences for everyone.
With the experience. That's great.
Absolutely.
I think that's a wonderful addition to the format, because then you really get that real life, and gosh, everybody's been going through so much. So it's great to hear and kind of, collaborate on that. So that's
Absolutely.
great to know. That's definitely not to be missed for sure, because that's an industry intel we all need for sure. And that is at the first day, or is that the second day?
That is right after the business meeting on day one.
Okay.
Sorry. Day two. Day one, remember, is the happy hour. So
the happy hour.
Yeah, day two of programming.
Okay.
So it's going to be right after the business meeting. And then we go right from state of the industry into a presentation on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
That's great.
And this is the results of the survey that we sent out last year. So you'll see our diversity, equity, inclusion task force. A few members from that task force will be presenting the survey. And again, they'll be presenting on academia and optometry. We have someone from that segment presenting opticianry as well. When it comes down to the industry, when it comes down to corporate eye care. So it'll be also in symposium format. And that session also will have live Q&A at the end.
Oh, that's exciting. Wow. My gosh, it's going to be really, really informational and so much to take in. And thank you for all the work you've done on this, because it sounds like a tremendous amount of planning and organizing and work. So we're excited to be a part of it and to share this with the audience. Just the last question I have for you, Terrence, which is the social side of the event, which is obviously a lot of fun too. So how, will the kind of welcome reception be? Will it be kind of, Hollywood Squares kind of thing, or the happy hour, kind of how will we all be attending that?
Yeah. Oh man, the fun. That was my one requirement when Ashley asked me to handle the programming. Like, we have to bring the fun. We have to bring the fun.
Absolutely.
So we have two happy hours. We have two happy hours. So day one is starting at 4:30 p.m. and it is going to be a happy hour hosted by Ashley Mills. She will welcome everyone, and she will give a tech run through pretty much to show everyone how to use the networking aspects of this platform. And then we're going to just break out into different rooms. There'll be different themed rooms available where people can go and join. And there's some surprises in there, some industry people hosting, some industry people with some talent hosting some rooms.
Wow.
Some industry people that, you may not know some of the talent they have, but you can join their room. You can hop from room to room if you want. We have some performances happening.
Wow.
Absolutely. So it will be an amazing happy hour, and you will have your pick of entertainment that night for day one.
Incredible.
Absolutely. So that's going to be, beginning. I'm sorry, I think I said 4:30. That because that's 4 p.m., not 4:30.
Okay.
My apologies.
No worries, and all that's on the site too,
exactly.
with the full agenda.
Exactly, absolutely. Day two happy hour, huge surprises, huge surprises for day two happy hour. And honestly, it's really a celebration of optimism. It's one of those moments where it's like we've been through it. We have been through it. We have been through it as an industry in 2020. Let's celebrate. Let's have a moment of optimism. We're going to have, people telling their optimistic stories. We're going to be able to, celebrate some really amazing philanthropic efforts that the industry has put together, throughout the year as well. Industry initiatives that move the industry to places that it has never been. I love talking about the history of the industry, and it's so fascinating. But where's the industry going next? And that's what we're talking about with this moment of optimism. So, come in there, bring your glass of whatever, but bring your tissues. It's going to be a tearjerker. We're going to be tugging at your heartstrings during this next happy hour as well. So, happy hour number one, it's all about fun and turning up and everything. Happy hour two, you can still turn up, but bring your tissues to turn down a little bit.
Oh, I love it. Wow, it sounds incredibly inspiring, and as Jane just mentioned here in her comment, she said, wow, this all sounds fantastic. This sounds like a fantastic thing to attend. I'm really looking forward to it. And I know I sure am. And it's so good to hear all of the things that are going on. We really, it's okay, Jane. She says typos. We know that how that goes for sure. So it's,
Absolutely.
you know, it's just so good to know the details like this, Terrence. It's very, very helpful. So we really appreciate you coming on and sharing this with everybody. And I'm so inspired and excited to attend. I can't wait for it to come and really looking forward to it. And thank you for inviting us to be a part of it with the marketing panel, and really appreciate it and appreciate you. So thank you for everything you do for this industry.
Thank you, Aaron. It's great being here. I appreciate you being part of this and being so willing. I am hosting one happy hour room, so someone please come join me. I don't want to be there alone. I am very sensitive. So, yeah.
Plus, you're a lot of fun. You don't want to miss happy hour with Terrence.
Exactly. Join my room. Come on, Jane, come to my room.
Join my room, right? Exactly. We just had Optician Now join, and she's clapping. So thank you for you guys for joining us. If anybody has any, I kind of ran over here. Sorry. I always love talking to Terrence, and it's tough to keep it short. But if anybody has any quick questions, feel free to type them into the comment bar. Otherwise, you know, feel free to type them into the comment bar afterwards, and we can always forward those to Terrence and to the Vision Council if you guys have questions. So anyway, well, I'm really looking forward to joining Terrence. I'm going to go ahead and just one last time type in the URL into the comment bar so everybody has it here. It's on Facebook and on YouTube for everybody. So that is the way to get on and learn more info and to register as well. And thank you again. And we're really looking forward to it, Terrence. And it's always good to see you.
Thank you, Aaron. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see you guys all at the Executive Summit. Go ahead and register. Any questions, feel free to hit me up, tlackran@thevisioncouncil.org.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you again soon.
Take care, everyone.
At the Executive Summit.
Yes.